Hey y'all, I just thought I'd come on here for a second and show you that we've got some trees that have come. As you can see, they're like, well, I'm getting them in here right, like 6-7 foot tall. So put them between the two supports here on the pergola so that they don't fall over. And then down here is what I'm going to talk about today. The way these are wrapped. Okay? Now, these are both from reputable nurseries up in Georgia. I'll just give you that much. I'm not going to say who they are because I don't want to hurt their business or anything like that, because they do have good plants. And as you can see, this has a lot of tape on it, which is fairly easy to remove. And then they have black plastic down here. Well, the black plastic can be reused for some weed suppression in some areas. Okay, so that's the plus on them. This one here, this is all just wrapped in, like, you know, cling wrap type stuff. I have no use for this amount of plastic after I have gotten these trees out. And I see that as a minus. Okay. Now they do have, let's see if you can see it. They do have a nice gel that they put in here for keeping the plants alive while they're in transit, which they both have. So that's a plus for both of them. The prices are similar. This company, or this nursery, has a little bit more limited things that they sell. This one has a little bit more of a selection, but the prices, they're only within like $1 or $2 of each other now for all the other stuff. And you know, some people might consider that a plus, some people might not. Now for me, it's, you know, I take that into consideration, as well as the fact that if I can't get it one place, I'm going to get it at other if I can't find it locally. I prefer to get stuff locally. Now this is a wax myrtle that's native here in Florida, but I haven't been able to find anybody near me that has them. They all want to be selling me all this exotic stuff, and you know, well, I don't see. Well, yeah, and then you got all the Mediterranean stuff, and yeah, we have a similar climate to that somewhat. A little bit further south of us is a lot more like a Mediterranean climate. But here where we live, we're right on that weird edge. Like, I'll give a shout out to David the Dude. Because David is a guy who gives good advice. And anyway, we're right there in that area where it goes from being tropical, and then it's moving on up into the, I think they call it temperate. We're subtropical. We're moving into more temperate. We're right there at that edge where summers can be brutal hot, 90s, low hundreds, or at least feel like that, with lots and lots of humidity and storms and all that kind of stuff. And then winters can be brutal, is a good way of putting it. This winter hasn't been too bad. Our low temperatures have been so far like 30 and 34. The rest of the time, like last night, we were supposed to be in the 30s and it got down to 44. Okay, that's pretty good. And then we had last year, which is totally different. and we had down in the 20s, and we had a wind chill in there that made it even lower because the winds were 16 mile an hour. Our weather station out here in the pasture logged it in at that. So we have years that are warmer, less dormancy of the plants, a lot more growth. And then we have times where it is freezing your tushy off and you just want to dive under the covers, and so you cover up your plants. You use a lot of bricks because good old landscape staples don't work. Not here. Because we got the wind combined with the sugar sand or the real fine sand stuff that we have here. The wind get an edge of your cover and it's just gonna blow it to kingdom come and way on yonder past that. So anyhow, I just wanted to pop on here and kind of show you what we're doing. Set this up so it won't fall over. Now everything's wanting to fall over because the breeze just come by. Anyhow, one of the things that we're doing is we're putting in the fruit and nut orchard, and these are wax myrtles, and believe it or not, they have fruit on them. They are little tiny inconspicuous berries that come onto these plants, and if you boil them up, the wax comes off the berries, and you can collect enough of those with enough berries, you can make bayberry candles out of them. That's where the scent comes from. And you can eat the berries, but the birds love them, so that's why I want them. I'm creating more wind blocks here with the native plants that the birds will love. And then in the fruit orchard, fruit and nut orchard I call it, we're putting in, here's 3 pecan trees, or pecan, whichever one you want to call it. And that will be pretty much the finish of it, because we have the Asian pears, we have the persimmons, we have the mulberries. Gotta think, do I have some peaches out there? Plums? Apple? I got these little orchards scattered all over the property, just to kind of see what's gonna do better where. So, you know, gardening is an adventure and I want to make it interesting. So there we go. But anyway, this is what's new. This is what's just started happening. And I'm going to soak these in water about a day or so before I pop them in the ground. And they'll be right here in the pergola. And oh, there's something else happy that's happened here that I will walk out and show you. If I can get my old bones to stand up. Okay. Now, well, we're getting the, I don't know if you can see it or not, but we got the passion fruit that's starting to drop. I'm getting those all over the place. It's unusual to have that happen in the winter, but it just kind of timed itself from when I put them in the ground. So I'll stand right here in front of here and hopefully you can see it, because otherwise you'll have sun in the way. But our papaya tree is putting out the little papayas up there. Oops, sorry. Right there, if you can see it. My coordination is off, usually is. Right there, papaya. Anyway, and what we're doing to make sure that we can get fruit out of them, protect them from the weather, is the dryer vent is over there. It's not real far away. And on the really cold nights, I wrap the trunk of them in, I got a cheap piece of one of those fleece throws you put on your couch, and I cut it in strips, And I wrapped the trunk of the 2 papayas with that. And on the really bad nights when there's a lot of wind blowing and like that, we turn on the heat lamp, you know, like the kind that some people use for incubating and keeping baby chicks warm till they have enough feathers in to regulate their own body temperature. Anyway, so I don't use those for my chickens, those heat lamps. I did once upon a time, still had them, so I use them for these tropicals because my chickens love papayas, and papayas, like everything else, are starting to go up in price. So anyway, I am going to wish you all adieu, and you know, go outside, take your shoes off, wiggle your toes in the dirt if there's any dirt available. If you live in snow country, put out some suet cakes and some seed and extra stuff for wild birds. Not every bird species flies south for the winter. So there you go, and this has been here for 11 minutes and I need to shut up. So see you on the next one.